We just got an order back from PSA. Let's see how we did. Welcome back. So we have this long awaited PSA submission. Sent this back in March, just got it back in August. I sent it express, $100 per card. The idea was that it was supposed to come back 4 to 6 weeks was the stated time on the page, on the paper. I actually used the subgroup Got Baseball Cards, and that's what they were indicating the time frame that the cards would take to grade. Obviously, I knew that that was not realistic. I figured it was probably going to be more like 2 months, maybe 3 months. I really didn't think it would take this long. Again, I sent this back in March, just got it back today. It is August 27th. So long time to wait for these cards. And unfortunately, from the time that we bought the cards till today, the market has definitely softened and the value of the cards, regardless of the grades that we get, has gone down in value. So we're just going to find out how we did, how that worked out, and maybe some lessons that I've learned from this process going forward. Before we get into that, though, I did want to talk about PSA grading in general. I've been hearing a lot that PSA is grading tougher. I actually agree with that. I believe that all grading companies should grade according to what the card is. And this is one thing that when we were first going over this, I was talking about this with my brother, who also has partnered with me on buying these sports cards. And he said the same thing. He said, well, the card should grade what it actually is. If it's a 10, if it has sharp corners, sharp edges, no surface blemishes, it meets all the criteria of a 10, regardless if it's PSA, if it's BGS, if it's HGA or any of the other grading companies, then it should be a 10 and there should be this standard across the board. And I noticed how bad some 10s could be. The first time I noticed when I was looking at a Cody Bellinger Topps Chrome Refractor, I was looking at the back, and there aren't many of these cards. They're serial number to 250. I was looking at the back of one of the cards and I noticed the corner was soft and it was a PSA 10. I looked at the next listing, another soft corner, PSA 10. I finally found one where the corners were sharp on the back. The back border is blue. The corners look sharp, no soft corners. It looked like a PSA 10, and that's the one that I would buy. And I believe if I looked at the prices of the listings, I would probably have to pay a premium for that clean PSA 10. And I hate the fact that I have to analyze an already graded card. I mean, we should have a standard where we know that a 10 is a 10, and I don't have to look through it with a magnifying glass and really look at the card as if it's raw and whether or not I want to purchase that 10 because it's not really a 10. So I agree with if that means PSA has to quote unquote get tough with their standards, then that's what they need to do. Unfortunately, for my orders, it may mean that I don't get 10s where I otherwise would have maybe 10 years ago. But for the long-term outlook of the hobby, I do agree that they should grade according to their standard. I wouldn't even call it tougher. I would say they should grade according to their standard. Those two Cody Bellingers that I saw listed should never have been PSA 10s. And that is a little bit concerning to me. So if they are grading more accurately is what I would call it today, then I'm all for that. Let's go ahead and get into the break. Okay, so this is an 11 card order, not a big order. Again, at $100 per card, we weren't trying to send hundreds of cards into PSA. I think we just wanted to see how are we gonna do? How are we at evaluating the card to see whether or not we get a 9 or a 10? Obviously, we're hoping for more 10s than 9s. So let's go ahead and take a look. The first card we have is DeAndre Hopkins. This is his Select Silver Concourse. Very low print run. This is from one of the lower print run years. It's 2013. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how we did. We got a PSA 9. So I'm not sure if we were expecting a 10 on this. I can't remember if we thought there might have been a blemish, but I think at this point, a 9, we'll take it. That's kind of how that goes. I actually did look up the price of the card. So I'll just let you know, we paid $150 for this card raw. And a PSA 9 recently sold for $150. And so that would mean that we actually lost basically the grading fee, which was $100. So unfortunately, that's a big loss to take. But as I stated, we bought these cards in March, and that was more of the height of the market. And then we were hoping to, even at a 9, that we would still make a profit. But the market has come down considerably since then. And so a PSA 9, as it turns out, is about the price we paid for the raw card. That's just how it goes sometime. The next card was a Christian McCaffrey Select Field Level Silver. And before I turn this grade over, I want to let you know that the PSA 10 of this card was going for $600 back when we sent it in back in March. And I believe the 9, probably a third, was going for about $200. And this one, we got a PSA 9. So that's kind of a bummer. And currently the PSA 9, the last sale was $110. And we actually only paid $40 for the card, but obviously we paid $100 to get it graded. So another loss, unfortunately. And I'm not too shocked because, again, these cards were sent in. We paid a lot for the cards. They were sent in at the height of the market, and we're just getting them back today. So this is just how it goes. Next card is a Jason Tatum base prism. And since that time, not only has the market softened, but people have really started to hate on base cards. And back when we sent in the card, a PSA 10 was going for $600, a PSA 9 was going for close to $200, and this card we got was a PSA 9. So that's another unfortunate grade. And again, I don't know how we would have done. I believe we paid $100 for the card, and that was kind of the economics that we were working with. Is paid $100 for the card, paid $100 to get it graded. If we got a 9, at least we're going to break even. And then, of course, if we get the 10, then we would have made a $400 profit. So that was the logic behind sending this in. And we did get a 9, but unfortunately, that's not break even because the market has come down considerably. Last PSA 9 sale, $122. So not too bad of a loss on that, but still, it's a little unfortunate. Next card is Justin Herbert base prism. Same thing, the hate on base. The other thing is the pop count on this Justin Herbert has gone up considerably since we sent it in. So we have a lot of things working against us on this one. And this one came back a PSA 9. So that is unfortunate again. And back when we sent this in, PSA 10 of this card was going for $1,000. So you could see where we were going. You know, we're hoping to hit on one of these as a 10. And even if we got a 9, we were hoping to break even. I believe the 9 was going for $250, and paid $150 for the card, paid $100 to get it graded. So we put $250 into exactly, and that was the idea. Either we break even on a 9, or we make a nice profit on a 10. And unfortunately, it just did not work out that way. So left with a 9. Actually, the last sale on a 9 was $160, so not too terrible, but still another loss. So now this is really unfortunate. We got this card raw, Deshaun Watson. We had already bought a PSA 10 version of this card. Didn't sell it. We actually still have the card today. And then we bought this one raw for $350. Paid $100 to get it graded. So we have $450 into it. And let's see what we got out of this. It's a nice card. PSA 9. So yeah, that's really disappointing. This is probably, so far, this looks like the biggest loss of the pile. We put $450 into it. The last PSA 9 sale went for $160. So it's another tough one. This order is not looking too good so far. This is a De'Aaron Fox Prism Silver. And I think you can see the Prism. Could look in and see the Prism logo there. So that's how we know it's a silver. PSA 10 of this card was going for $800 back in March. PSA 9 was going for probably a little over $200. And I believe we paid $100 for the card. So we paid $100 to get it graded. And this came back a PSA 8. So that's super disappointing. Basically, if you get a PSA 8, you lost. That's the short way to think about it. I don't even know what a PSA 8 would sell for. Another loss, and not even a 9. At least if we get a 9, I can kind of live with it a little bit, but an 8, and that means we just didn't evaluate the card well enough. This is an Anthony Davis Hoops base. Nothing too exciting. Actually won this card on a Sports Card Investor Market Mover contest. So they had these Wednesday night live streams and they had contests, and I was one of the winners. I won a pack of 2012 hoops, and this card was in it. Sent it off for grading. PSA 10 of all the cards to get a PSA 10, it's the card that I paid nothing for. PSA 10 value of this card is $200. So that was a nice win, a very small win, and many losses. In a pile of losses, that was a little win. This card is another one, paid too much for a raw card, and I was looking to see if that corner, like I could see something on the corner already, so my guess is it's not a 10. But I paid $200 for this Jaylen Brown. This is a select premier level silver. There was no courtside, so this is one of the tougher cards to get. Super low print run. Let's see what we got here. PSA 9. So another unfortunate 9. Last PSA 9 sale on this card, $93. When we sent this card in for grading, the PSA 10 version of this card was going for, it hit $1,000 at one point. I believe these are all still really good cards, and you could see why we were taking a chance, but there's no way to know that the market was going to dip as much as it did, and that's just what happened. So we got these cards back, and, let's see how the rest of the pile looks. This is a Justin Herbert Donruss base. Pulled this out of a blaster box. I estimated the value at $25, just figuring that we got some other cards, so maybe that would be the cost that we paid, and we paid $100 to get it graded. Probably not the smartest thing, but we did get a PSA 10, so at least we got a 10 out of that. And last sale was roughly $170 on the PSA 10, so a little profit on that. This was our big one. Well, actually bought this card on OfferUp for $800. This is a 2011 Bowman Chrome Mike Trout. Looked pretty clean. Probably, I think we knew it was not going to get a PSA 10, just judging by some of the surface issues, but we were being hopeful. Let's see what we got here. PSA 8. So, yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm too surprised by the PSA 8. That's unfortunate. I think we were really just kind of hoping for the best on this one. The last PSA 8 sale, $400. So we paid $800, paid $100 to get it graded, and took another big loss on that. Last card is Zach LaVine courtside. Now, Zach LaVine's been in the news recently. The Bulls have acquired some new pieces, Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan. So there's a lot of hype for this Zach LaVine. And this card gems pretty well. So let's see. PSA 9. Oh, man. I looked up the pop report, and there are 29 PSA 10s and 9 PSA 9s. So unfortunately, I got one of the 9 PSA 9s that exist in the world. That's not good news. And the last PSA 9 sale was $175. So that's this is the 11 card order that we've been waiting quite a bit of time for. In general, I would say that it's very disappointing. And I'm going to go ahead. I actually did add up the total value of the cards to see what they would be at, different various grades. And the total value of these cards, actually, if I could total this up real quick, I think I thought I had some values written down, but I guess I don't. So it looks like we took a decent loss on this, well over $1,000, and that's unfortunate. So that's just how it goes. And I think one of my takeaways is that I'm not going to pay top dollar to get a card graded. I think it's just too risky, especially $200 per card at PSA. There's really no reason that I would, unless I won the card in some kind of raffle or Raz, or like I said on Market Movers live stream, or if maybe a friend just gave me a card for whatever reason, they're just not interested in cards, I might, and the card has a significant value, I might send it off for a high grading fee just because if I didn't put anything into it, I may as well take a shot and see if I can get a 10. Otherwise, my play at this point is I'm going to go with the lowest grading options, whatever they're available. For example, currently I'm using HGA, and I'm only using their $20 option, which is a 60-day turnaround. So I'm not going to do even 30 days, which is a little bit more money, only $35, but I just don't see the point in putting more money in the grading fee. The cards kind of are what they are, and I think if you invest in good players and good cards, you should still do well in the long run. I actually think these are good cards and good cards to invest in. It's just unfortunate that we overpaid, but I'm going to hold and we'll see how it goes. We have the NFL season coming up, so Justin Herbert's going to get some action, DeAndre Hopkins, and then we're going to have the NBA to follow right up with that, and we'll have some of these NBA cards, and I bet on the players, so I'm going to stick with it, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks for checking this out. It's always fun to do these PSA reveals. I hope we get some more back. Our next orders will be coming back from Star Stock, so we might see that sometime in 2022. I really hope that I'm joking, but that might actually be the reality. Anyway, hope everyone is having a good day, and I will see you on the next one.